Good morning, everyone. I am Rebecca Takahashi, ALGA President for 2023-2024. We now have a quorum of our board members present, and I am calling the 2023-2024 ALGA business meeting to order at approximately 11:03 a.m. on May 16th, 2024. The purpose of this meeting is to provide our members with an overview of activities for the year, announce the results of ALGA's first ever popular election, recognize outgoing members of the board and committee leaders, and formally transition to the 2024-2025 ALGA operating year. Our first report will be from our treasurer, Deborah Jenkins.
Thank you, Rebecca. ALGA's financial statements for the year ending March 2024 estimated net income of $60,000, bringing the net assets up to around $645,000. This reflects a strong hybrid conference, increased revenue from member dues, and the contributions of our various educational programs. The budget adopted by the board for this past fiscal year projected a net loss in order to provide ALGA flexibility to take advantage of opportunities to our growing and changing organization. We exceeded those estimates, ending with a net profit. The opportunities included a record number of attendees, both in person and virtually, at our 2023 conference in Baltimore. Reestablishing the peer review schedule after the backlog was cleared from COVID-19 impacts, and creating new initiatives for members such as the Rising Star Award and the Winter Virtual CPE Symposium. At the January board meeting, ALGA Board of Directors adopted a budget for the fiscal year from April 2024 through March 2025 with a projected net loss of $50,000. This projected loss is mainly due to inflationary cost, impacts for educational offerings, peer review services, and general operating needs. Last summer, the biannual independent audit was also performed of ALGA's financial statements and internal controls as of March 31st, 2022 and 2023. I'm pleased to say that we received an unqualified opinion reflecting that the financial statements present fairly in all material aspects the financial position of ALGA. Our next audit will be performed in 2025. On behalf of the board, I would like to express my thanks to Don Opperman, who volunteered to complete this audit. ALGA's financial statements are also available to view on ALGA's governance webpage. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Deborah. Now we're going to hear from our secretary, Kathy Harrison.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm Kathy Harrison, and I'm your board secretary. The board secretary is tasked with drafting meeting minutes and updating the operations manual, which are both uploaded to ALGA's website periodically. I'm also responsible for chairing the Constitution and Bylaws Procedure Committee, also known as CBPC. CBPC has been active since fall 2018 and considers possible changes to ALGA's bylaws. This year, we did not receive any proposals to change the bylaws, so we took this time to improve the Constitution and Bylaws proposal form by removing sections that contain duplicative requests for information and incorporating numbers to the proposal process flowchart to show which order each step should be done in. We also continued our review of the operations manual to take an in-depth look at the procedure section and how the information is organized within the manual. The committee researched other organizations' online operating manuals and is currently working to streamline the procedure section of the operations manual. We anticipate completion of our review next calendar year. I would also like to thank all of our members of CBPC for all of their hard work and dedication this past year, and encourage anyone with questions or interest in joining the committee to contact our newly elected board secretary, Madison Rocha. This concludes my report, and back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Kathy. Next, we will hear from our Strategic Planning Officer, Stephanie Jackson.
Thank you, Rebecca. The strategy committee supports the work of the strategic plan officer, who's responsible for maintaining ALGA's strategic plan and recommending updates to the plan as needed. This past year, the committee worked with the ALGA board and committee chairs to develop the fiscal year 2024-2026 strategic plan, which was last updated in 2018. The strategy committee also worked with committee chairs to refine and streamline their committee's performance metrics. The new plan focuses on 3 strategic initiatives: exploring the feasibility of a certification program to replace the CGAP certification, improving diversity, equity, and inclusion data collection, and developing a more formalized communication strategy. The website link for the new strategic plan will be included in an upcoming email blast. In the coming year, the strategy committee will be reporting progress towards meeting the new strategic plan initiatives to the board and working with committees to refine performance metrics as their activities and responsibilities change. The committee will also develop a work plan for its ongoing responsibilities and remain responsive to any ad hoc informational needs of the board. As the outgoing strategic plan officer, I would like to thank the strategy committee members for their efforts during the last couple of years, and I look forward to supporting the new SPO in continuing our work. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. And now we will hear from our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, Anu Sidhu.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hi, I'm Anu Sidhu, your Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer. As your DEI officer, I help support ALGA in advancing its equity and inclusion goals, working in partnership with the DEI committee to develop tools and resources for member shops. This year, ALGA implemented popular elections with a ranked choice voting system that came out of a direct result of our equity initiative work. In addition, your DEI officer serves on the nominating committee to help ensure folks interested in running for a board position are considered based on clear, inclusive criteria. In collaboration with the conference committee, we crafted a meaningful land acknowledgement at this year's annual conference in Seattle, including opportunities to give back to Native communities and to recognize how our audits can shed light on inequities that exist in these communities and others. Lastly, the ALGA board redeveloped its strategic plan this past year, including diversity, equity, and inclusion as a key goal area. I look forward to working with ALGA's committees to help develop appropriate DEI metrics and strategies in relation to that goal, and to continue and support the great work you all do serving your local communities. That concludes my report. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Anu. And now we will hear from Communications Liaison Kristen Clark.
Thank you, Rebecca. Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen Clark, your Communications Liaison. The Communications Liaison's role is to develop and implement an organization-wide communications strategy. This ensures ALGA communications are well coordinated, effectively managed, and support the interests, initiatives, and priorities of the organization through a consistent and strategic voice. This work has a wide range and includes helping committees and the board in identifying and refining the strategic information, audiences, means, and timing of messages to our members and our other stakeholders throughout the year. In the 2023-24 fiscal year ending March 31st, we sent 12 newsletters and 86 email blasts with an underlying goal to provide clear, transparent, and user-friendly information to serve ALGA's members. We're seeing success with this strategy as our email engagement continues to grow. And I've begun diligently tracking other metrics as well to ensure our communications strategy is responsive and effective in the way we intend. As your liaison, I also reviewed and provided feedback on conference programming, the annual report, and letters to awards program participants, among many other tasks to support the work of the board and ALGA's various committees. We continue to use videos to promote the annual conference and also highlight the work ALGA does. For instance, this spring, we made a supplemental video to help conference attendees use public transit in Seattle, and I received a lot of feedback that that was a helpful and cost-saving innovation to our in-person attendees, and we hope to replicate that with future conferences. I encourage you all to check out our YouTube channel and like and subscribe so you can be the latest to see our new content there. We have exciting changes planned in the coming months to continue professionalizing ALGA's communications efforts and build on the success and tremendous progress we've had so far. I want to take this opportunity to give a special thank you to Rosalie Roberts from Multnomah County, who has been helping me proofread our content this spring and providing an extra quality check. Not only does Rosalie have a talent for spotting grammar and punctuation errors, but they have posed some insightful suggestions and feedback to help improve accessibility and conscious language in our communications. I also want to thank our hardworking board and the dedicated volunteers on our many committees. And I'm also extremely grateful for the fabulous staff at Member Services whose support is so integral to the work we do. It's a group effort to communicate the important content we share with our members, and it's an honor to continue serving ALGA in this liaison role. This concludes my report. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kristen. And now we're going to hear from Conference Committee Co-Chair Kimber Waltmanson.
Thanks, Rebecca. The conference committee took on a huge restructure this year, and we learned so much. Deep gratitude to the 27 hardworking members of our committee from all over the country in Canada. And gratitude to member services staff for their attention to detail and commitment to supporting ALGA. The bottom line is that the annual conference in Seattle was very successful. We achieved our goals of providing compelling, affordable training that enhanced member skills. There were 420 people in attendance in person and nearly 500 joining the conference virtually. We also had 238 people attend workshops. We tried several new things that seemed to be getting a positive response. For example, we adjusted which sessions and experiences worked best only for in-person attendees, and then we provided the same activities and sessions to virtual attendees separately. We changed the awards ceremonies to be more personal and to focus on a subset of the winners. We worked with Digital, our conference platform provider, to make an app and to create an API to make sign-ons to the platform seamless. A huge benefit is that right now you can watch sessions that you weren't able to attend in person online and get CPE for those sessions. We also got more sponsors than we've ever had. We learned so much about our budget and spending and how it all comes together so that we can choose excellent facilities and make great choices for future years. We began to learn how we can make the conference experience not only educational, but a restorative opportunity for auditors who work very hard at difficult jobs in their service to the public. Most of our committee members agreed to stay on for additional years and report they had a great collaborative experience. We look forward to Minneapolis. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kimber. And now, unfortunately, Amanda Noble couldn't join us this morning, so I am going to be reading her report on behalf of the Advocacy Committee. The Advocacy Committee's mission is to promote independent performance auditing throughout local government. The committee does this by providing information on how to establish an audit function, by supplying resources to help strengthen audit functions, and by defending audit functions that are under attack. During the past year, the committee worked with more than a dozen jurisdictions on issues related to creating or preserving independent audit functions and strengthening audit independence and access to information. The committee sent letters to 4 governing bodies, provided public testimony in support of audit functions, and provided technical assistance to 6 jurisdictions that were considering starting an audit function or looking to strengthen their existing audit function. The committee also sent letters to 5 charter review commissions to advocate for adding or strengthening independent audit functions in their jurisdictions. Finally, following an analysis of the issues the committee has been asked to address over the past 5 years compared to the resources offered on our website, we drafted new guidance on staffing and funding the audit function, noting that financial autonomy is a key element of audit independence. Thank you, Amanda and the Advocacy Committee for your hard work. And now we will hear from Awards Program Committee Chair Anna Marie McNeil.
Hello. The Awards Program Committee manages, evaluates, and promotes ALGA's Knighton Award, Lifetime Achievement Award, and the newly established Rising Star Award. We are committed to ensuring the awards programs provide an opportunity for ALGA members to recognize auditors for their work within local government auditing community and to help audit shops continue to improve their performance audit programs. The 2023-24 award programs are complete. All award recipients have been notified, congratulated, and recognized. For the Knighton Award, there were 53 submissions received, which is the same as last year. We had 25 judges and 10 judge liaisons from the committee that helped us successfully complete this year's program. There were 15 total awards given, and we also continued our feedback program which provides feedback to the non-winning shops. For the Lifetime Achievement Award, there were 2 Lifetime Achievement Award recipients, Carolyn Smith and David Jones. And for the Rising Star, this was the first year of the Rising Star Award program, which is meant to recognize the best and brightest among newer local government audit professionals and encourage others to strive for excellence early in their careers. There were 3 Rising Star Award recipients, Susie Acosta Giovanelli, Andrew Scoggin, and Anu Sidhu. The ALGA board formally approved this award as an ongoing award at the spring 2024 board meeting. The committee's planned tasks for the upcoming year include working to fully implement the Rising Star Award program and to continue to improve upon existing award programs. We hope our ongoing efforts increase ALGA members' interest and participation in the award programs. That concludes my report. Thank you. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Anna Marie. And next we will hear from Digital Strategy Committee Chair Caroline Zavikovsky.
Thank you, Rebecca. The Digital Strategy Committee supports and maintains ALGA's website, social link features, and social media platforms. Through this work, we help ALGA members maximize their ALGA benefits, such as training, jobs, publications, and peer review opportunities. This year, we supported changes to the board elections process by building a voter's guide and featuring the election changes on member forums. We also continue to grow ALGA's online presence through YouTube and LinkedIn, and we worked with the Awards Program Committee to highlight winners on ALGA's website. Members of the Digital Strategy Committee are trusted partners for problem-solving technical challenges and coordinating communications with other ALGA leaders. I would like to thank Ann O'Brien, our Vice Chair, and the dedicated Digital Strategy Committee members who keep ALGA's website and social media running. We encourage all members to connect on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and ALGA's website to create a strong community of practice and support. That concludes my report. Rebecca?
Thanks, Caroline. And now we will hear from Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee Chair Kelsey Thompson.
This year, the DEI committee has contributed to several trainings across different formats, regional trainings, webinars, the annual conference. We've published 2 new tools on tips for interviewing about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, as well as a cultivation model to help audit shops assess how they incorporate DEI. We hosted the first DEI roundtable at the conference, and we'll be continuing that conversation virtually through DEI office hours coming later this fall. As I roll off as DEI chair, I want to extend a huge thanks to all the members of the DEI committee and to Felicia Stokes from Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, who is the incoming DEI chair. And if you haven't already, don't forget to fill out the demographic questions on your member profile. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kelsey. And now we will hear from Education Committee Chair Larry Wallace.
Thanks, Rebecca. Hello from San Antonio. In 2024, we continued bringing you quality CPE through on-site regional conferences and live webinars, and we're now more able to provide valuable archived webinars that can be accessed at no charge to members. We also facilitate a well-regarded mentorship program for experienced mentors to coach less experienced auditors with career development and workplace challenges. On the regional side, this year has been great for regional conferences in Los Angeles, Scottsdale, Houston, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Charlotte, and Virginia Beach. And there's still more to come in 2024, including Savannah and Atlanta. On the virtual side, we provided 9 webinars and our first ever 8-hour December CPE symposium that received high praise and high ratings from those attending. By the way, if you ever have requests for certain CPE topics, please let me know, and we will try to get those on our agenda. Our education team could not have done all this year without a remarkable work of our regional training hosts, our volunteer mentors, our volunteer speakers, and of course, our wonderful member services team. Thank you all. Back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Larry. And now we will hear from Long-Term Conference Planning Committee Chair Rory Galter.
Thank you, Rebecca. The board approved the merge of the Long-Term Conference Planning Committee into the Conference Committee at the spring 2024 meeting. This will be the last year that this is a standalone committee. With the assistance of the ALGA Member Services, the committee analyzed the 6 possible host city hotels from Charlotte, Cleveland, Memphis, Norfolk, and Raleigh, and provide the board with the committee's host city bid selection matrix for the 2023 winter board meeting. Using the host city bid matrix, selection matrix and supporting criteria documentation, the board selected Cleveland for the 2026 ALGA annual conference site. The host city bid selection matrix weights each criterion and gives the committee members evaluation guidance to apply a numerical rating for each criterion. New this year was estimating the total food and beverage cost for each host city and considering the results for the hotel and conference affordability criteria. This concludes my presentation, and back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rory. And now we will hear from Membership Committee Chair Courtney Smith.
Thank you, Rebecca. The Membership Committee is charged with encouraging current members to remain in the association, identifying and recruiting prospective members, as well as the development and distribution of surveys on matters of interest to ALGA members, committees, and the board. Our survey team worked with the Awards Program Committee, Professional Issues Committee, and DEI committees to provide surveys this year. They're also working on the committee survey, which is designed to gauge member awareness and interest about the activities of each ALGA committee. This year, the retention and growth teams completed work on 2 projects. First, they completed a refresh of the ALGA brochure and related website information. And second, they implemented an initiative to make personal contact with new members to welcome them to the association, answer any questions they may have, and encourage deeper engagement with the association. The retention and growth team also works with member services to remind everyone about membership renewal. And on that note, the end of the ALGA membership year is June 30th, so you will soon begin to see renewal messages over the next several weeks to remind you to renew your membership. You don't have to wait until July 1st to begin the renewal process. Membership renewal can be done online or by calling member services for assistance. I want to thank each membership committee member for their role in pushing committee efforts forward this year. And also a special thank you to Justin Anderson, who served as our board liaison this year. If you're interested in the work of the committee and want to be a more active participant in ALGA, please consider joining the membership committee. That concludes my report, and back to you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Courtney. And now we will hear from Peer Review Committee Chair Corey Stokes.
Excellent. Hi, everyone. So the Peer Review Committee administers ALGA's peer review program for organizations that follow the Yellow Book and or the Red Book. Our goal is to provide quality, affordable peer reviews for our member organizations, foster commitment to audit quality, and encourage performance in accordance with professional auditing standards. In 2023, we connected 39 reviews using 84 team members. Big shout out to all of y'all who served on peer review teams. We really appreciate the volunteer efforts. We expect to conduct many more reviews in 2024. As Larry mentioned, there were also multiple peer review trainings offered through our regional training program across the country, and we updated our peer review guidance and templates to help review teams on site. Also in 2024, we'll be working on incorporating the newly released standards. Both the Yellow Book and the Red Book have updates into guidance for future teams. And just wanted to ask everybody, our membership, that if you are planning or hoping to have a peer review in late 2024 or anytime in 2025, to get those requests in. We ask that you get your request in at least 6 months before your review. And the sooner you get them in, the easier it is for our volunteer coordinators to do the work they do to coordinate your review. So that's all I have. Rebecca.
Thanks, Corey. And now we will hear from Professional Issues Committee Chair Dawn Wiseman.
Thank you, Rebecca. The Professional Issues Committee, or PIC Committee, reviews, evaluates, and comments on proposed changes to professional standards issued by various standard-setting bodies, as well as other issues relevant to ALGA's members. Our work this year was a bit lighter following our work commenting on the revisions to the Yellow Book and to the Red Book. After our review of both the Yellow and the Red Book, we commented on disclosure and classification of certain capital assets exposure draft for from the Government Accounting Standards Board. We are keeping an eye out for the exposure draft for the revisions to the standards of internal control in the federal government, more commonly known as the Green Book, as well as any other proposed changes, standards changes for organizations such as the AICPA, GFOA, and NIST, just to name a few of those that we monitor. But past comment letters can be reviewed on the ALGA website under the guides and reports section. So I encourage you to take a look at a few of those if there's some interest in seeing some of the prior comment letters that we've submitted. We also had the opportunity to develop a video about the Professional Issues Committee's role with the assistance of Kristen Clark. So thank you, Kristen, for that support. This was our response to ALGA member feedback we received last year on how we could better inform membership about the committee and our work. Other projects included ALGA quarterly contributions and our partnership with the Institute of Internal Auditors to assist with projects related to the local government sector and the new Red Book standards. In the coming year, we plan to look for more innovative ways to connect with ALGA members and others in the local government auditing profession. I'm pleased to announce that Sherrod Medrano will be the next chair of the committee. And I would like to just say I'm very lucky to have worked with such a talented group of people. I think in the last few years I've worked there, grown considerably. And just a hearty shout out and thank you to all the committee members for their hard work and dedication, as well as the board for your support. Thank you, and back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Dawn. Now we will hear from Publications Committee Chair Claire Kruschke.
Thanks, Rebecca. Hi, everyone. The Publications Committee organizes and publishes ALGA's Local Government Auditing Quarterly Journal. Our 2023 topics, which you can find on ALGA's website, covered leadership and professional development, fiscal sustainability, environmental sustainability, and a small shop spotlight, and altogether featured more than 50 authors from a diverse cross-section of ALGA's regions, committees, and member shops. In addition to the quarterly, in 2023, our committee also continued a number of internal initiatives to keep the quarterly successful and relevant, including a rolling analysis of more than a decade of historical article data and analyzing our online engagement to better understand how members interact with the quarterly. The quarterly comes to all of you through the dedication and initiative of Publications Committee members and contributions from all of you, members willing to volunteer your knowledge through writing an article. As my term as chair comes to an end, I want to express my deep gratitude to our committee members, our authors, and our readers. I'm very excited to see the quarterly flourish under our new chair, Andrew Scoggin, our longtime editor, Katie Houston, our assistant editor, Joyce Chi, and all of our dedicated committee members. Our latest edition of the quarterly on annual audit planning is available on ALGA's website right now. And members can also look forward to our upcoming 2024 issues on follow-ups and lessons learned, transit and public improvement projects, and auditing social media. Please reach out to us at any time to write an article or volunteer. And take care, everyone.
Thanks, Claire. I also want to let people know that the Publications Committee also helps stewards the publication of our annual report, which you can access on our website at this link here. So please check it out. And now we will hear from Nominating Committee Chair Ross Vischer.
Thank you, Rebecca. This was the first nominating committee following the change in the ALGA bylaws that resulted in a move to popular elections. Our committee ran the nominating process and presented the results at the January 2024 board meeting. If you take the time to look at the ALGA annual report, you can find additional details around this year's process. In addition to running the nominating process, the committee proposed changes to the minimum criteria for board positions outlined in the ALGA operations manual prior to the opening of nominations. The key change improved inclusivity by allowing experience to be incurred over a longer period of time, reflecting that individuals may need to take time away from the profession for a variety of reasons. This change was approved by the board in time for this year's nominations. My thanks to everyone that served on the nominating committee this year. I now pass back to Rebecca.
Thank you, Ross. And I am going to talk about our elections process for this year. So as you recall, last May, ALGA members voted to implement bylaw changes to our nominations and election process for selecting new officers and members to the board of directors. As Ross mentioned earlier, the nomination and election cycle this year was the first to implement a new popular election process using ranked choice voting for the contested races. Candidates were vetted for eligibility by the nominations committee, and all eligible candidates were presented to the members for their vote. Voting opened for members on May 1st, 2024, and concluded on May 10th, 2024. Ballots were sent via email to our current members, and only to full members who are defined as employees of local government audit organizations per our bylaws were eligible to cast a vote. We received a total of 301 votes in this election, and as such, far exceeded our required quorum of 100 members to vote and affirm our new officers and members. So thank you to all of you who took time out of your daily life and work to cast your vote. So without further ado, please give a virtual hand to your newly elected board officers and at-large members. I am honored to introduce the following individuals as new officers to the board, including Kathy Harrison as president-elect, Madison Rorschach as secretary, and Lori Rice as the strategic planning officer. I am also happy to reintroduce you all to our two elected at-large board members, Courtney Smith and Kelsey Thompson. They will join 6 other returning board officers and members, continuing their service into the 2024-2025 ALGA year. Their bios can be referenced at the link below. And now I would like to take the time to honor 4 individuals who have served ALGA for the past 2 or more years as a committee chair, including Don Weissman for professional issues, Claire Krushke for publications, Rory Galter for long-term conference planning, and Kelsey Thompson for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I was lucky to work alongside each of these folks as a board member and president and witness firsthand their dedication and passion to making ALGA an organization that works for its members' interests and for highlighting our collective achievements. I have distinct memories of reaching out to each of you with a specific need and was so appreciative of the immediate help that I got in response. So please also extend another virtual hand to these leaders. Each individual has or will have received a commemorative plaque as a token of our appreciation. And again, another huge thank you to all of you. I am also honored to present a service award to Stephanie Jackson, who is completing her service as our strategic planning officer. Stephanie was the first to serve a full term in this officer role and really give it the solid footing it needed on which it now stands, alongside leading the first ever strategy committee and undertaking a SWOT analysis project for our board. This was a big feat, and I am so grateful for the skill and wisdom you employed to find a great facilitator and set us on a feasible path forward, Stephanie. So thank you so much for all the time, thought, and hard work you've put in to make this position a success. Congratulations. Stephanie also received a plaque commemorating her service. And now I will hand it over to Ross.
Thank you, Rebecca. I wanted to congratulate you, Rebecca, on your service award. It has been wonderful working with you, most recently in your role as president, but also in all your previous positions, going all the way back to what is now known as Digital Strategy Committee. Over the past year, you've driven some really important changes for our organisation, including governance structures over long-term conference site selection, and also the management of our relationship with partner professional bodies. Many congratulations again.
Thank you for the kind words, Ross. So before I officially sign off as your president, I did want to take the time to acknowledge the 2023-2024 Board of Directors for all of our individual and collective work done this year. We made it through numerous procedural changes, kicked off new initiatives while maintaining core services, showed up to meetings when urgency was needed, and rose to the occasion when challenges presented themselves. While there's still work to be done, I think now it's time to celebrate what we've accomplished this year. So a heartfelt thank you to each one of you. And another heartfelt thank you to all the committee and ad hoc volunteers and leaders who really made us look good as a board and rolling with all the changes as we threw them at you. I also need to extend a huge heartfelt appreciation to our member services team at NASAC, who have also rolled with the many changes that we've thrown throughout them at this year with grace and professionalism. And I want to thank all of you, our members, for showing up to all of our events and using our resources. Without you showing up and using those resources, we would have no purpose and no mission. So thank you for continuing to participate and use ALGA services. And now I would like to pass on the proverbial torch to your new ALGA president for 2024-2025, Mr. Ross Fisher. Ross has been a dedicated volunteer and leader with ALGA in so many capacities, including as a former treasurer, education committee chair, and a member of the conference and long-term conference planning committees. Ross brings his keen eye to detail while also being able to see the bigger picture of ALGA's mission into this role. And as a member of a Canadian local government audit function, Ross will help expand ALGA's presence and perspective beyond the United States to make us a truly global organization. So thank you, Ross, for taking up this mantle, and I will now formally hand over moderator duties to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I really appreciate the kind words. And I wanted to thank everyone for taking the time to attend today's business meeting. It's such a privilege to work with a group of people that day in and day out drive positive change for the public good. Thank you to everyone that volunteered over the past year of ALGA. If you're not currently volunteering, please check our website for ways to get involved or reach out to me, and I'm happy to connect you with the right people. I also wanted to thank Glenda and the entire member services team for their key role in supporting our organisation. With that, I wish everyone a great rest of the day, and we are now adjourned.